All right. Well, there I am. And where have I been and what have I been up to the last couple of weeks? Been a little busy with a couple of things that needed to be dealt with. In 60 seconds till we meet the new mud. Might as well say hi to everybody who's here. Handsome Stone. Fuzz Fork, good to see you, Fuzz. Chris. Billy Lee, what type of tobacco chopper am I looking for? I can't decide whether I want more of the guillotine type plug cutter, or if I want the cylindrical tobacco shredder that you would use to shred whole leaf to make cigars, chewing tobacco, pipe tobacco. But anyway, Billy Lee, nice to see you. Cynthia, Fuzz, said hi to Fuzz already. I got Raymond, R.T. Scott, Ronald Coward. No, I'm not going the way of Cobra JFS, which is kind of nice. Melanie Matson, Hog Wild, good to see you. Corey Clark, I think I got most everybody here caught up. Yeah. Have one of those round ones, has a broken hinge. I seen a lot of them with broken hinges like that. I don't know why. It must be a fairly common failing, but they're usually cylindrical, maybe 10, 12 inches long, and they're hinged on top. You open the top up, and on the inside, there's teeth on the inside of the shell, and there's teeth on the rotor that you turn with the crank. When you close it, it's got a little hopper on one end, and you crank it up and you feed tobacco into it, and it would shred it up for chewing or pipe tobacco. But I ain't no hurry to get a new project going right now either. So, where have I been? I had a large aortic aneurysm repaired. Had an aortic aneurysm and the aortic valve itself repaired. And you can see a little bit of the scar there. And it keeps going for quite a ways down. I won't show you all of it. But anyway, I had that repaired because for the last couple of years, you see, I can get a free low dose CT scan, kind of like an old fashioned chest x ray, only a little more updated. And they noticed that my aorta was a bit dilated. It's been like that for a couple of years. And this year we did a little more specific type of CT scan with my voice is a little shaky because I'm not used to talking a whole lot. But they did a CT scan with contrast dye, and that's got me showed that it had about a 5.5 centimeter dilation. Normally, if your aortic valve is tricuspid, it's got 3 little flaps on it. Normally, they wouldn't. That's right about the point they would start considering to intervene. But I'm one of the 3 out of 1,000 people who have a bicuspid aortic valve. Which means that 2 of the flaps are fused together. And this causes problems in its own right. It kind of helps move the dilation along, makes the aneurysm stretch faster. And at 6.5 or 5.5, usually that means you died last week with a bicuspid valve. So on the 11th, Went in, had surgery, got that all repaired, put in a new valve, replaced the root of the aorta in the first couple of inches, got that all spliced in and fixed up, and everything went fine. Okay, yeah, if I need to keep it short, yeah, I probably will cut it a little bit short. It depends how much talking I do. Save the rest of this car for OnlyFans. Yeah, I probably will. Ronald Coward, he's just home from work. I need to send a fake mini too. Yeah, cool. Yeah, we can see. I'll have some time off for a while here. The worst part about the surgery is they have to split your sternum open, and they got to, pry you open, traditional open heart surgery. It would have just been a valve replacement. 9 times out of 10, they can do that with the catheter nowadays, and they don't need to split you open. But since they had to do work on the aorta, you got to open you all the way up to get at it, which they did. And it's a pain in the ass because with your chest split, when you have to cough, they give you a little heart-shaped pillow, tell you to grab your elbows and squeeze tight. The problem is, when the first several days in the hospital, you got 3 or 4 different IV lines going into each arm. At least 2 of them are tangled on something, and one of them is too damn short. So when you got a cough, you try and bring your arms around, you get to about there, and that's all the farther you can go. But did you wake up and make sure the plumbing was still there? Oh, yeah. I had my tubes tied too. But anyway, spatchcock you. Oh yeah, they peel your ass right open doing that. A lot of fun. But I'm doing really well recovering from the surgery itself. As far as the wound healing and the ribs healing up, I'm doing pretty good. But the problem is I'm still having atrial fibrillation, which is probably a good part of why my voice is all quavery. I'm still having fairly bad atrial fibrillation. It's normal for the first couple of days to have an irregular heartbeat after surgery like this once they cut you open. But usually after a couple of days, you'll return to a normal rhythm on your own. I'm not doing that. And it's kind of a pain in the ass because my heartbeat's usually racing, not real bad, but when you're sitting still and your heart's beating 120 beats a minute, it does kind of slow you down and wear you out. Getting a pacemaker, I don't know yet. I'm going in. Catch my breath. Going in next week, and they're going to do a cardio version. That's where they run an ultrasound probe down your throat to make sure there aren't any clots hanging around, and then they zap the shit out of you. And hopefully the electricity will reset the beat on your heart. Bill's still having AFib. Yeah, and with the AFib, they have to have you on blood thinners so you don't clot. And I specifically chose, you can choose either a tissue valve or a mechanical one. And I chose the tissue valve because with a mechanical valve, you have to be on blood thinners the rest of your life. And here I am still dicking around with the blood thinners. Yep, take Eliquis. Yeah, I'm on that too. The paddles will be back normal. I hope so, because we did this once already before I left the hospital. Kind of worked for a day or so. Settled down a bit, but still didn't revert them all the way. Yeah, squeeze the heck out of the car. Yeah, you have to, because you got to hold the edges of your rib cage together when you cough. And after the surgery, you got to cough quite a bit to bring up the phlegm so you don't end up with pneumonia. You better not die on me. Oh, I ain't likely to die on you. But it's inconvenient as hell. Lick your fingers, grab your E-tank. I might. I mean, if it doesn't settle down, I might have to do something on my own. I'm getting dizzy and sweaty from my story. Yeah, it's like I say, I would be a lot farther along now than I would be a lot farther along right now were it not for the fibrillation. But I should be able to get past that, hopefully. Because, I mean, I can get up, I can move around fairly good, but I don't have any kind of real endurance. But, I can get up, and I'm up quite a bit during the day. There are a few things I was going to show you on the Goodwill site. Just kind of, how's the cat? She is passed out behind the monitor. I took her over to Ma's. Actually, it was Ma's neighbor. They share on. They're each on one side of the duplex, and she took care of her while I was in the hospital. Breath. She took care of her in the hospital, and she didn't want to eat most of the time she was there. She only ate about half a can of cat food. Finally got her to eat some tuna. And once I got her home, she promptly scarfed down a can of cat food within about an hour. If I need to lift weights, got plenty of iron. Yeah, I do. Starting with 5s and work my way up to 15s. But the cat is thriving. Yeah, she was pining for me while I was gone. I wanted to show you this here quick. Maybe a couple other things. Something you don't see quite every day. Let me share screen. There we go. See if you can guess what this is before we get to the identifying picture of it. There we go. I think the next picture shows what it is. One more. There we go. Yes, it is. That is a number 20 Griswold Hotel skillet. Kind of hard to see, but there's a 20 right there. It's a large logo, believe it or not, because It's about 2 foot across. And it has the Erie PA USA on the bottom. Care to hazard a guess how much it went for? $1,301.87. Now they sold this in Indianapolis, I believe, and they wouldn't ship it. You had to go pick it up. I'd be willing to bet if they shipped it, they probably could have got 15 or 1600 for it, because it would have increased the pool of bidders on it quite a bit if you didn't have to worry about getting your ass to Indianapolis to pick it up. That's in your area. Well, probably cracked. I didn't see any cracks looking at the pictures, but if I was going to spend that kind of money, I'd definitely want to look at it in person. Would have hated them to try. Would have hated to trust them to ship it. Yeah, you probably are better off going to get it yourself, but still, it would have increased their potential bidders a little bit anyway. But you don't see them very often, and so 13 to $1,500 is pretty much what they usually go for. There are a couple other things here I was gonna show you. I didn't really have a chance to sort these through. Oh, this is cool. Offhand, you'd think that's a Griswold 666 breakfast skillet, but it's not. It's got gaps in the dividers. And if you flip it over, that's actually a Best Made. I've never seen one of these before, the Best Mades. It didn't go for too bad of a price, $86.50. Where a Griswold is usually sold for about $100.50, and but I've never come across a Best Made like that, so that was kind of interesting. And I'll get one of these big super cooker fish fryers. You see these once in a while. $100 is kind of the going rate for them. They're a fish fryer for grills. Rome Industries Aluma super cooker. It's got 2 skillet handles on the bottom, 1 on top. You got your deep fryer base and a griddle lid. They're pretty slick deals. Like I said, they're a pretty slick little deal. And 100, I see them go for that. I've seen them go cheaper, but usually not a whole lot. Pat's here. Good to see you. All right. I like that 2-handle fryer. Yeah, they're a neat looking little unit there. Let me see if I can find it. All by himself. I need it. There we go. $334 for a small pan, but it's a number 4 with a heat ring, which apparently isn't very common. I haven't seen quite a few smooth bottomed ones, but I haven't come across a number 4 Griswold with a heat ring. But that's your basic number 4. And yeah, $334. I suppose if you're looking to make your complete set, that's kind of a stopper, and you need one that size. You can probably find the smooth bottom one fairly easy, but might be a half a dozen people looking for the uh, heat ringed ones. I got in 2 marked 8s, both had cracks, so that's a shame. Yeah, it's always dicey sometimes with auction houses packing stuff. If it's something close by where you can go get it, a lot of times you are better off getting it. But anyway, we've been at this for about 20 minutes, and I'm definitely getting a little more fluttery, so I'm gonna have to settle down for a bit. Let's see. Stop sharing. Here we go. I'm gonna have to get myself settled down and relaxed a bit. But I wanted to get back into the swing of things and see how good I could do. Next week I should be feeling better. Hopefully I'll be able to get my heart rhythm under control. And right now that's about the only thing. What size is that Grizz? That one was a number 4, that last one. But yeah, I'm gonna have to shut her down early, unfortunately. But it was definitely a pretty good run and made it a third of the way through the show. So I'll see you guys next week. Hopefully I'll have a little bit more wind by then, and a little better organized. I'll see you guys then, and it was nice talking to you. Kind of nice being on the green side of the sod yet, and hopefully I'll stay there a while. I'll talk to you guys later.